You're listening to Side Hustle Pro, the podcast that teaches you to build and grow your side hustle from passion project to profitable business. And I'm your host, Nicaila Matthews-Okome. So let's get started. Hey friends, hey, welcome back to the show. So today we're going to talk about one of my all-time favorite mantras that I've ever heard, which is done is better than perfect. Now, I know y'all have heard this before, and I thought top of the year would be the perfect time to revisit that phrase, shall we? And really embrace it and get it into our bodies. So I thought I would share with you a real life example of what it looks like to operate as a side hustler, knowing that done is better than perfect. So y'all know how I talked about in the last episode. If you haven't listened to it, go back and listen to 444. And in that episode, I talked about the 5 steps you need this year to finally launch your side hustle. And a part of that was the fact that I decided to focus this year on sharing all the knowledge in my brain, holding myself to task by having a challenge every single month. And first challenge is the Master the Gram challenge. Now, Master the Gram is my Instagram course and challenge that I have run before, but I haven't run it since 2017. Can you believe it? Like, that's how long it's been. Time just flew by, and I realized it was more needed than ever because so many people don't realize how much of a blessing it can be in your life when you start to share what you're doing and you start to let people know what's going on in your world, what you offer, who you serve, all that good stuff, right? So I decided to launch my Master the Gram challenge to kick off the year. I started it the first week of January, started promoting it. I recorded the episode for you guys, and then I went into promotion overdrive. So here's what it looks like when done is better than perfect. Because I announced it and it was kicking off on Monday, January 13th, which, by the way, when you're listening to this, you can still join over at sidehustlepro.co/masterthegram because we're having a live Instagram Q&A on Friday, January 17th. So if you join today, you still have time to get in that live Q&A. So make sure you go over to sidehustlepro.co/masterthegram if you want to be a part of this. You will get all the live replays from day 1 all the way through day 5. It's a 5-day challenge, but you're not late. All of it is recorded. So when I decided to launch, I got straight to work, okay? Let me break down how I approach this without letting perfectionism hold me back. First of all, let's get into the operational setup. I had to handle the basics. I had to set up a landing page, and I used lead pages for that. So I went and set up sidehustlepro.co/masterthegram. The back end of that is on leadpage.com. And then that URL is created using a plugin that I use on WordPress called Pretty Link. And with that, you can turn any long URL into something that's shorter and more aesthetic and that you can roll off your tongue and share with people. So I shortened the link and then I made sure everything was redirecting. I also had to actually build a backend product in my Stripe, right? So when people check out, they will actually purchase it. It will take their card information, then they'll get the fulfillment email. All of that was back-end operational things. In the future, I will be able to outsource that by setting up the systems. What I like to do is do it first and then record tutorials to get the operations process down on paper as well as on video and then share it with my team. So for now, I wanted to just kick this off because, again, I was launching it and doing it all at the same time. And then I also had to organize inside of my email system, which is I use ConvertKit. So that means things like making sure that when people purchase, they have a tag, which then will trigger a sequence. So they get the welcome email and then they get all the emails throughout the challenge from each day forward. So all of those are back-end operational things. Sometimes I kind of go just by memory, just by autopilot, but it can be easy to forget stuff. So chronicle what you're doing along the way. And I made sure that I did that. Just, open up a simple Google Doc and just write down, okay, create a lead page, created a Stripe product, and all the steps that I outlined for y'all. Okay. So I didn't aim for fancy, just functional. And by the way, I did get some help in the initial phase from ChatGPT on what to put on the sales page. One of the things that I have learned about ChatGPT, and I've mentioned before that my sister Nadine and also my husband Moyo, who are really like AI, just they go hard for some AI. They have really, and also my sister Natalie, all of them have helped me to see all these AI tools as thought partners that I can use. So when you're feeling overwhelmed, you can go to them and say, hey, I want to do this 5-day challenge. Here's everything I want to teach. Can you help me to create the first draft? Here are all the things that I'm going to teach on each day. Let's create the first draft of this. And from there, we can tweak and make it into the final version. So here is what can go wrong though when you do that. So now let's get into the marketing preparation. I had the sales page up, right? And I was starting to create the marketing pieces to drive people to the sales page. So that looks like writing a sequence of emails and again, scheduling it out in my email service provider, kit.com. Then it looked like creating social media posts and scheduling them out via my social media scheduler. I am going to teach you about my automation tools inside of Master the Gram. So make sure you register sidehustlepro.co/masterthegram to get all my automation tools. So Kit, I can automate all the emails to go out for the rest of the week. Write the emails once, set them up, boom, it goes out. Social media posts, create the social media posts once, boom, schedule them out, right? And instead of starting from scratch, I also went back and looked at, okay, what have I done in the past? We talked in the last episode about 5 steps to launch your side hustle this year, is to look at what you've already done. So I focused on doing that this time. I was not going to try to reinvent the wheel. I was not going to completely ignore all of the years of work I had poured into Master the Gram content already, but I knew things needed to be updated. And for a long time, years, as you can see, updating this product was just this chore that was hanging over my head, which resulted in me not doing it because I was thinking of it too large. Oh, I got to update every single module, re-record each video, re-record everything, and create all new guides and workbooks for each lesson and video. When in fact, I should have just been taking it one module at a time. And so that's what I did this time around. I looked at social media posts that I'd done in the past. I looked at emails that I sent in the past, and it reminded me of the core promise, right? You need to know your core promise before you get out there and try to recruit people to join any kind of challenge or any type of course or program. And looking back at that old content and even the social media posts and then the comments under the post, the testimonials, right? I've had testimonials for this before. I was able to see, okay, these were some of the most valuable aspects. Let's see if these are the most valuable aspects now. So using that feedback, using the research that I did on my own product, I was able to start to update the sales page, update the emails, update the planned social media posts that were going to go out to market, aka promote Master the Gram. So we had the operational steps in place and we had the marketing steps in place. Now let's talk about the learning through action step. This is where the done is better than perfect part really comes in. And I would actually tweak that to be like action is better than perfection because I was never really done. I'm still not done. I view this as an iterative process, meaning when I first put up the sales page, and I started driving traffic there. No paid traffic, by the way. Well, I did test out a Facebook ad or two, just promoting an organic post and quickly turned those off. Why? Because the sales page wasn't converting, y'all. It wasn't converting at first. And I'm like, what's going on? This was such a popular and sought after program in the past. What's going on? Well, there are a lot of factors. Number one, it's the beginning of the year. Everyone's overloaded with challenges and things and just trying to get your own life together, right? Number two, this is a product I had not sold in a while. So people were not necessarily looking for it from me or expecting it from me. So I needed to rewarm even my warm audience, meaning people that know me, and also introduce myself to my cold audience and establish my expertise and build that level of trust with them. And then number three, because I started and just got into action, I was not fully versed in the current pain points of my prospective buyer. So I started out really broad. And a lot of you we all think we could kind of skate by with the broad, but it never works. It never works. You have to get specific. You have to let people know what is it, who is it for, and how will it help. And those things weren't initially on my sales page. And so I kept tweaking every single day. The first day, no sales. The second day, I said, okay, let me tweak. Let me, again, go back. And one of the things I did is as people started reaching out to me, because some people in my network started reaching out to me on the side, like, hey, I'm thinking about doing the challenge. And then I said, okay, so tell me what's going on? Like, what do you hope to share on Instagram? What are you trying to do? And then I targeted my sales page. I curated it a bit more and edited it a bit more based on that feedback. So this is why it's so important to have someone in mind when you create anything, because it just makes the language way more specific. So more people like this person will then be attracted to understand that something is for them and then convert. And that's what started to happen. So the conversion started picking up and I started feeling like I'm back in my groove, because with anything, when you haven't done it in a while, I don't think I've sold a course or challenge or anything in a while. So I started getting back into my groove and feeling like, okay, yes, I was reminding myself. Those are the affirmations we talked about, right? I was affirming myself again, like, oh, right, this is the process. You test, you learn, you try, you listen for feedback, and then you make adjustments. Your sales page is not static. That's why it's a little bit nuanced. It's not even done is better than perfect. Its action is better than perfect, because my sales page was far from done and it's still not done, because I want to test out the next time I do this, actually making it super specific. I'll work with ChatGPT to massage this, but I feel that Master the Gram is for the side hustler who is starting a business on the side, needs to promote it on Instagram to sell, but truthfully wants somebody else to do it. Right? That's a mouthful, but it is somewhere in that vein of who it's for. So how can I want to test out speaking just matter of fact in that sales page. So, as you're reading it, like, oh, how does she know? Yes, I need this. Because the goal of Master the Gram is to make you more confident and know what you need to do yourself. But also, when you know what to do yourself, you are then able to hire. You can't really hire when you don't know what's going on. You should have a fundamental understanding so that people can't pull the wool over your eyes or just deliver some really bad stuff and say, hey, well, you didn't get specific. This is what you asked for. So this just helps you as a business person. So I really want you to understand. And the things I teach will give you that fundamental understanding. And then even with the automation tools that I teach you, you'll understand how to set up a team to start automating some of these things and the thoughts that are in your head. And finally, I will share what to look for and also how to train someone to do your social for you inside of Master the Gram. So that's all in the automation lesson. So that sales page is going to speak to that. But learning through action has been so beneficial because, number one, I'm learning through action, but I'm still making sales, right? So you too, as you're thinking about what you're going to do this year, all right, as I'm recording this, it's January 14th, sis. You can learn and make money at the same time. And why shouldn't you? Why shouldn't you? When you start your job and you know how you have that 90-day trial period, which really, depending on the field, it could be 6 months, depending on how hard it is to ramp up. They're still paying you. Why? Because they know you know your stuff, but it's going to take a while to get ramped up in this new space. Similarly, if you're an entrepreneur, and especially if you are an infopreneur, like you are teaching people via services, products, ebooks, courses, challenges, classes, those kinds of things, that's your wheelhouse right now. That's your area of expertise. The knowledge is in your head. All this other stuff like online business owner, that's not in your wheelhouse. That doesn't mean you don't know your stuff. Okay? Those two are not mutually exclusive. That doesn't mean you don't know your stuff. So once I had that really drilled down in my head, then I was okay with making money while I'm learning through action, because I'm still delivering your information over this 5-day challenge. And I'm still giving you access to ask me those questions that you have. And you're also getting to see it in action to empower you to say, all right, I just did this and I'm ready to launch my own challenge and promote it and use Instagram in the way Nikayla has taught me this next coming month. It's a win-win. Hey friends, so here on the show, we talk to business owners all the time and hear all about their journey from side hustle to profitable business, right? But an often overlooked secret is actually the businesses behind the business, making selling and for shoppers buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. If you want to run your e-commerce business, you need to be using Shopify. I use Shopify for my Side Hustle Pro merch, and it is such a great platform for e-commerce business. It's easy to set up. It integrates with so many other applications that make it easier for your business to run online, and nobody does selling better than Shopify. It's home of the #1 checkout on the planet, and the not so secret, it integrates with Shop Pay, and that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going. Shopify also directly deposits to your bank. It provides great insights, and they have great customer service. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout that Mattel uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/hustlepro, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/hustlepro to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/hustlepro. Friends, let me tell you, one of the biggest game changers for me during this challenge was having an accountability buddy. So I teamed up with another Black woman entrepreneur who was also launching a challenge this month, and we checked in daily via text. And we also have a standing weekly phone call. And during this call, we share how it's going. We share ideas. We problem solve together, and we encourage each other. And this was so helpful for me because we have different strengths, and we're able to bounce off of each other and get new ideas. So there are things that she put in her email that inspired an idea. There are things that I put on my sales page that inspired an idea for her. And we just were able to learn from each other while also executing our content, marketing, and marketing funnels we were able to bounce off each other while executing our marketing funnels and our content building for our respective challenges, which were in completely two different topics. And it was just really nice to have that and to be able to text like, hey, my kids are bouncing off the wall. Hopefully I'll be able to record this once they go to bed and, things like that, because it was so helpful. So I encourage you, as you are going along your process this year, think about if there's one person that you can reach out to who can be an accountability buddy in your world, in your network. You may be surprised. This woman and I, we knew each other just socially. We only met in person. Again, this is the power of Instagram. We've chatted on Instagram, but we hadn't met in person until December. Actually, we met at the She Did That Bazaar in Brooklyn. It was my first year going, her first year as well. And we finally met in person. That's the reason I wanted to go too, because there are all these people, whether it's guests or other podcasters that I knew are in the area and I've never met in person. So I'm so glad I went. We connected. We started talking about our lives. It turns out we live not too far from each other. We both have 2 kids. We're both going through similar things as entrepreneurs. And it has really been nice to connect. So when I started talking about the fact that I wanted to do a challenge, we just organically started to work together as accountability buddies. And it was nothing formal. A lot of times when you're in this side hustle space, you think about masterminds, which are also good. But sometimes trying to arrange everyone's schedule becomes a real buzzkill that kills the whole group. So this year, let's just focus on finding one person to be your accountability buddy that you can text and say, hey, the sales page is live, or hey, I can't figure out how to get Apple Pay on my sales page, or oh my gosh, the fulfillment sequence is broken, and all of that really nerdy stuff you could nerd out about, but also remind yourselves your why you're doing this, and that it's possible. Now, I can't emphasize enough how much I felt out of practice with marketing a challenge, a course, a product. I just felt out of practice. And I can't emphasize enough how speaking positively over myself, speaking life over myself, reminding myself this is part of the process. Oh, that happened. Oh, good. That means I'm about to figure it out. One thing that I would always say to my accountability buddy in this process was because she was starting to share her conversions and sales. And she's like, I have 24 sales. And I'm like, I have 0. But that's great because that means I know what the problem is. The sales page needs to be fixed. And I need to figure out how to get Apple Pay or PayPal up there. So it's a one-click purchase versus having to go get your card. So these are 2 problem areas that I knew that I could address to see if that was what was causing the issue. And sure enough, when I fixed those things, then I started to see more conversion. So imagine if I was just like, oh man, this is not working. In the past, I have put up a sales page for a day and not get sales and take it down, like completely decide to cancel that idea. But I said, not this time. No, this is part of the process, self. We're going to speak life over ourselves. I encourage you to do this as well. It works. I'm telling you. And you just start to realize like none of this is the end of the world. Let's say I had 5 people register. That would be amazing. I would have an intimate conversation with these 5 people and really have a chance to help them understand their pain points and better myself and my offering and my marketing in the future. So here's what I hope you will apply from my experience moving forward with your own side hustle. Number 1, done is better than perfect. Start with what you have and tweak as you go. As the quote that I reshared the other day that everyone just really related to states, just make it exist first. You can make it good later. I put up the landing page. I made it good later. Number 2, key takeaway is clarity is key, y'all. Make sure your audience knows what your product is, who it's for, and how it helps. If you do not make that clear, if you're seeing low conversions with anything you sell or do, think about, is this clear? A lot of times we are making it too complicated because we're taught in school to speak in flowery language and write these paragraphs and essays when people just need really short sentences and really plain language. That's it. Okay. So simplify, simplify, simplify. Clarity is key. Number 3, repurpose your content. Look at what you've already have and build from there. You don't need to start anything from scratch. Number 4, self-talk matters. Encourage yourself during tough moments and remind yourself that it's all part of the process. Number 5, accountability is a game changer. Partner with someone who can support and motivate you. And I'm also going to walk through my sales page to kind of talk through some of the things that I adjusted. So initially I had up, Master the Gram Challenge, Instagram for Business or something like that. I thought that would be good for SEO. But now it reads 5-day Master the Gram Challenge, your 5-day ticket to double your following and build your influence. As I talked more and more with my target customer, I realized the following piece is still really critical to people. And it should be. Followers count does matter. It's a vanity metric, but it does matter because it builds trust, because people are not likely to engage and follow with an account, especially in these spammy times, that has under 1,000 followers. Not for long, at least. They probably won't take it seriously. So you have to start building up your reputation, and with that comes building your influence. And building your influence means your influence in your niche. So then I, just have the join now price. Now it's $197. By the way, the early bird price was $97, and that went away after a few days in. That also helped with urgency. I think it's good for you to offer a special when you're starting out and then make it go away. And then if you say it's going away, it has to go away. You can extend it for a little bit, but it has to go away if you say you're going to have it go away, because otherwise you're just lying. And one of the things my accountability buddy and I'm just being so transparent with you guys. Let me know if you appreciate this new episode style. So anywho, one of the things me and my accountability buddy talked about, she initially wanted to do her challenge for free. And I said, why? Why? No, but in all seriousness, here's the reason why you should charge. Here's the reason why you should charge. I told you guys, I don't even remember what episode it was. It was sometime in 2024. I talked about, I think that we have been kind of sold into a marketing funnel example that doesn't necessarily work for anybody. Similarly to how when you look at entrepreneurship, before I started Side Hustle Pro, I was frustrated because there was a lot of this glamorizing of the process, like, oh, just quit your job and just hustle and, live with a bunch of people and you'll make it. You'll eventually get some VC funding and great big exit and all that kind of jazz. And that's a lie. And also that's not the right model for many people. Similarly, offering something free and then paid and then higher paid, that model might not be the best model for you either. Something I realized is I don't want anyone to think that, and not that I think y'all think this, but I don't think there's anything wrong with paying for knowledge. And now if someone is exploiting people, that's a different story. But paying for knowledge is part of doing business. So for me, if you are a business owner and you want to do business, then paying for knowledge to learn how to do business is part of the process. So I had to shift that perspective in my accountability buddy. And then lo and behold, she had 24 sales before I did. And she was like, imagine I was going to do this for free. And I'm like, yeah, imagine. I also think that when you pay for something, not think, but I know when you pay for something, it puts a different level of seriousness to it. Granted, it's not $997 or $5,000 or anything like that, which I do have programs in those price points, but it is enough of a skin in the game where you're like, this is a challenge that I'm going to go through. Nikayla sending me a video and work that takes me less than 30 minutes a day. Why wouldn't I do this? I paid for it. This is exciting. And then I want to be able to ask her some follow-up questions on Friday in our live Q&A. So why wouldn't I? It just has more skin in the game for you when you do submit a payment. So let's go through the sales page some more. And again, that's sidehustlepro.co/masterthegram. So then I have a picture of myself. Honestly, I don't know. I just need some more pictures, but I just threw something up to match the red, to be vibrant. And I wrote, led by award-winning social media expert and Side Hustle Pro podcast host, Nikayla Matthews-Okome. I was inspired to do that by my accountability buddy. And then the big subtitle that pops out at you here is don't let another year pass feeling stuck on how to make money from Instagram. In just 5 days, you'll learn how to get more followers by clarifying what you want to say, who you want to talk to, and what you want to offer them. Audit Instagram for juicy content ideas and adapt them for your audience. This will start to grow your page on autopilot. Number 3, use the power of AI to create a seamless content creation and automation systems. And number 4, learn my cringe-free method to make sales on Instagram every single day moving forward. So I tailored it to people who, again, want to double that following to start building credibility and also want to understand how to make money from Instagram. You spend all this effort and time building up an Instagram page, then now what? Those are the people I'm speaking to, the and now what people. And then another thing that my accountability buddy and I did was initially that was it. I had the buy buttons, but I used Canva to create a breakdown. I posted this on Instagram, and then I also just added a screenshot to the sales page, which is a breakdown of what to expect from the Master the Gram Challenge, 5 days to take your Instagram from overwhelming to money making. So I shared day 1, followers. If you want to make an impact, let's grow your audience. I talked about how we'll do that. Day 2, content that converts. Day 3, automation and planning. Day 4, sales. Day 5, live Q&A. So even if you don't want to join the challenge, you can go to the sales page to see the bullet points that are on these slides that I did a screenshot of so that people could really have a better sense, because I wanted to make it as clear as possible what it is, who it's for, how it will help. That was what was missing from my sales page in the beginning, and that's what I updated it with as it went away. And then again, under that, I put will cover, where I once again break down everything will cover. Then it says you'll get, and I talk about the actual execution piece. So daily bite-sized videos delivered straight to your inbox, strategies to start growing your following on Instagram immediately, the exact tools and templates I use to create and schedule my content, and a live Q&A with me on day 5, Friday, January 15th, which again, you guys still have time to join. And then finally, I have some what previous attendees have to say testimonials. I'm looking forward to adding to this after this round and updating this section for the next round of Master the Gram whenever I decide to launch that. So I will do a post kind of evaluation and decide what will be the cadence, how will this run moving forward. But it was awesome momentum to start off the year with this challenge. It was a kick in the butt for me and for everyone who's joined. And after I wrote those things, then I just have my photo, my bio with a bit more information. And then it says, ready to master the gram, join now, with the $197 price point now that early bird is gone. So that's the anatomy of my sales page, y'all. That's the anatomy of the sales page for the challenge I launched. Let me know if you listen and watch this episode, how it has inspired you, how you're planning to take imperfect action this week and this month. And if you want to join, I look forward to working with you. But most importantly, I look forward to inspire you by taking the mask and the veil and all of that, opening up the curtains a little bit more to share inside of my world and inside of my thought process. And by the way, I don't know about you guys, but even though it's January, my new year for me will start on February 1st. And I was actually thinking of doing a goal-getter action plan type of thing for the real new year, Black History Month. However, we'll see. But I do know that I still consider this kind of like an exploration month, and then we'll really train in my goals based on this exploration to finalize what I want to attack this year. So give yourself some more time. Do not expect to go from December 31st to January 1st and be a new person. We are still learning how we want to approach this year, what we want from this year, and what we want to strive for this year. So with that, you guys, I will talk to you next week. And there you have it. Hey guys, thanks for listening to Side Hustle Pro. If you like the show, be sure to subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts. It helps other side hustlers just like you to find the show. And if you want to hear more from me, you can follow me on Instagram at Side Hustle Pro. Plus, sign up for my 6-bullet Saturday newsletter at sidehustlepro.co/newsletter. When you sign up, you will receive weekly nuggets from me, including what I'm up to, personal lessons, and my business tip of the week. Again, that's sidehustlepro.co/newsletter to sign up. Talk to you soon.